Okay. Hi guys. You are able to see my screen? I shared it. Right. Cool. Okay. So today let's start working with the collection framework. So all your collection classes, interfaces are defined inside your java.util package, right? So collection framework basically provides us the two major things. One is set of interfaces which are going to represent the activities that we wanted to deal with in a day-to-day activity of any data in the form of a collection. Like instead of carrying individual variables, multiple number of individual variables, so dump all those data values in one single object and carry that, right? So for that purpose there should be an appropriate interface provided with a respective implementation classes, and those implementation classes are going to take care about the respective algorithm, like how the values are going to be stored in that collection and how the values will be retrieved and how the end user is going to search for a specific element and how do you do the sorting of all those elements in that collection. So all these are the different algorithm techniques that will be implemented by the respective implementation classes of those interfaces provided by this framework. So that way all these classes and interfaces are defined under one single package, which you can call it as the java.util package. So the core collection interfaces are look like this. Collection is itself an interface which is defined with some sub interfaces like set, list, queue, dequeue, sorted set, all these things. And map is another interface which is also provided with sorted map. So these things are to be considered as the very core things. And in addition to these things, each of these interfaces are implemented by the respective implementation classes. For example, set interface is implemented as per the hash table mechanism called as a hash set class. And in case if you want to sort all its elements in the set object, then there should be a tree set object. Then the combination of both these activities, then there should be linked hash set. And list interface is there, which is nothing but the implementation in the form of a resizable array. Like generally any array we are going to work with, so that array is defined with some set of elements. So if you define your array size as 10 elements, so you can store only 10 elements in that array. You cannot go beyond that particular values, right? So you cannot go beyond that particular limit, right? Means it is dynamically not expandable, right? When we wanted to have some dynamic nature to the array implementation, then we'll be taking care about the array list class, which is actually implementing the list interface, so that you can add some elements, you can set the elements, you can do some values, right? So you can do some sorting, searching, all those activities will be able to take care over there with the help of that array list object. And array list class, and in addition to that linked list mechanism, we wanted to deal with linked list class, right? Map objects, hash map, tree map, linked hash map. So these are all to be considered as the pretty much general purpose implementations. So we'll try to understand all these things one by one, so that we'll try to understand what each one is trying to help us to understand the things, right? Okay, so let's begin with the tree map class, which looks like your properties class of yesterday. But properties were stored with an appropriate key assigned with some value to that. Similarly, tree map is a class which is going to store all the keys and the respective values in the sorting order of that particular key class. So if your key is all string type of key, so in the ascending order of those keys, it is all getting sorted. So once we start working with this, you will be understanding what is that ascending key order, all that. So let's try to write one simple example to understand this tree map object, which is similar to your properties class. Who would like to share the screen? Rishita, Josna, Raja Singh, Tirumal, he said his net is slow. So I am not disturbing you. Or let's go to Ahmed. If none of you are ready, I believe Ahmed is ready. Ahmed, I made you the presenter. Perfect. We are able to see your output. Right. No. Just right. Go to the package explorer of your Eclipse. Okay. And you can close all these opened things. Now right click and then say close all. And stay there in that com.util practice package. Right click on that package of your own. And try to create a new class, name it as tree map test. Tree map test. Okay, take the main method. Okay. So let's create a tree map object like this. Copy this one line of code inside the main method. Import it. Okay, here you can see tree map is an object which we are instantiating it to store all its keys of type string, and the values are also of string. So that is what we mentioned within those angular brackets, string comma string. That indicates what data type of keys and what data type for the values. So that is how the variable m is getting instantiated here and is pointing to that tree map object. Now I want to keep some data in this tree map object. So this tree map is a collection. I need to put some key value pairs in this object m. So copy all these lines. So put is a method which is used to put the data with respect to key and value. So first one is Amjad, trainer. Second one Abhi, engineer. Sushmita, student. Satish, professor. Hema, doctor. Right? So this is how 5 pairs of key values are added to this tree map object. Now just say sysout of m. Sysout m. I mean try to print that object m. Right. Save. Run. Let's see what is the output that gets printed on your console. Make your console little bigger. Right, there you go. So all your data shown there is in the sorting order of the key. So Abhi is shown as the very first element, then second element is Amjad, then Hema, then Satish, then Sushmita. The order you added is different. The order the output is shown is different. Right? So whatever the order I added, the output is shown in the ascending order of the keys. So if you want to add one more element, you can try. You can add anywhere. M dot put. You can put your name. Press enter. Yeah. So that key within double quotes. Comma. Within double quotes it should be. because it is also string, right? So the value of that key is also string, right? Then semicolon. Now check this. So where Ahmad should be. So you added Ahmad at the end, but it is shown in the output as the second element because tree map object is sorting the output, and I am able to print that entire M like this, right? So when we say sys out of M, so all those 6 elements are getting printed at a time, right? But if I want to print one pair at a time, then what should I do? So I need to loop through, or I need to iterate through this collection. So for that purpose you need to have one more object called iterator. Copy this and paste it after line 16. Press enter and paste it. So you are trying to define an iterator object. It is also from java.util package. So import that java.util.iterator. It is an interface. So this interface helps you to iterate through all those keys of your M. So m.keyset.iterator. So all your keys will be available in this iterator object. Press enter. Now try to write the while loop there. While, press control space bar, iterate with iterator, second one. Yes. There you go. So your iterator is providing you few methods. Has next method is going to verify whether there is data or not. And then iterator.next method is going to return you the next value. So whatever the values that are coming from there, from that iterator.next, it is all nothing but one key at a time. So you can write that variable name as string key equal to, and you can remove the typecasting. Yeah, delete that string variable and make it as key. String key equal to, I mean one key at a time we wanted to retrieve. And you can remove the typecasting also, because already my iterator object is having all those values in the form of strings only. So no need of typecasting, directly you can assign it. So let us make it as simple as possible. Delete. Delete those brackets also not required. Right. So pretty simple and straightforward. Right. Now next line, string value equal to line 22. Equal to. So where from you need to get the value? From your object M. So say M dot get and pass your key to that. Press enter. Right. Put semicolon at the end. Right. So your key is passed to that m.get method, which returns you the value. Now say sys out key plus double quotes equal to within double quotes, then plus value. Save this and try to run this. Right, there you go. So you can see that the entire collection you are looping through that iterator object. Right, so it is printing you one pair of key value at a time. Abhi equal to engineer, Ahmad equal to student, Amjad equal to trainer. So all the data. So as long as iterator is carrying all the data by using that has next method. So has next method returns true as long as there is data. When there is no more data, has next returns false. Next method returns you the respective value to you. Right? So that way we will be able to work with this tree map object. Any questions here? Okay. And there is one more legacy class called as hash table that also do the job of key value pair storing, same as the way our hash map is trying to store right now. Right? So let's play with that example as well. So there was hash table, which was one of the legacy classes, and enumeration, which was one of the legacy interfaces. So these two things were there in the initial versions of Java programming, right? And enumeration is looking like your iterator, but it is pretty older one. So we'll play with that. So let us write one separate example to test them. Write a new class, hash table test. Okay, take the main method and create this hash table object in it. Copy this. So since this is a legacy class, it was not following the standard naming conventions and all. So you can see that hash table H only capital, T is not capital in that. It was a very pretty older class 20 years ago, not now, right? Import. So it also looks same as your tree map, but here you can see we wanted to store all the keys as integers with the respective values in the form of strings. So that's why we kept integer comma string, right? Now let's put some data. Let's pass some data to this. So that job would be done by using put method. So copy all these 5 lines of code just below that. So our object name is ht. So we wanted to invoke ht.put. Right? It puts the data into that ht object. 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, all that. Right? Now just say sysout. Sysout of ht. Run this. Let's see what is the output. Right? It doesn't follow any sorting order, all that. Of course, here it looks like the latest one came first, but generally it doesn't follow any specific sorting order. So today now you are running it, so 105 is the first element shown to you and 101 is the last. But if you run the same program tomorrow, it may be 102 first, 101 next, like that. In any order it could be. So it doesn't follow, it doesn't care about the order. So if you want to try one more value to put, keep it. You can insert anywhere in between. If not at the end, you can put anywhere in between. Yeah, ht.put, just say number 1 and followed by some value, 1 comma some string within double quotes, right? And also add one more element at the beginning before Amjad or after Amjad as a second element, say ht.put 2. Put 2 comma value within double quotes, something else, right? Save this, run this. There you go. So what happened? It is going in any order. It is not following any specific order, right? If you bring that 101 at the end, so copy that, cut that line 9 and paste it after Sushmita. Let's see what will happen. So it could be in any order. Let's save it, run it. See, this time something else is changed, right? So this is how all these lines of output indicates that hash table doesn't follow any specific order. Now we wanted to retrieve all this data one after the other. I mean one key after the other. So earlier in the latest implement, tree map was the latest implementation, so we have used the iterator interface which was to be considered as the latest interface. Now for these oldest classes, you can use the older interface, which was enumeration. Copy this one line. You can say enumeration. So all my keys are there in the integer format, so I need to mark that enumeration as integer. Import it from Java.util. Right, press enter and write the while loop. You need to iterate with enumeration. Yes. So this provides you e dot has more elements. Like earlier, iterator was providing you has next method. But here it verifies whether there is more data or not by using that has more elements. And then you can say integer key equal to e dot next element. And you can remove the typecasting also. And value is what? It is of string type. So you can say string value equal to. So you need to read the value of every key from your ht object. So you can say string value equal to ht dot get of key. ht dot get followed by the key. Press enter. Then put semicolon at the end. Then you can copy that sys out from your previous program if you want. Yeah, that line 23 you can copy and paste it. Save this and try to run this. There you go. So 1 key value pair is printed on your console. Right? So this way we'll be able to play with this hash table object, which is one of the legacy component. So remember that enumeration is one of the older interfaces which is helpful to you to enumerate through the given elements of the object, like your keys of hash table or values of hash table or elements of any vector, all that. And it is all used in the older implementation classes. So all that functionality of that enumeration interface is duplicated in the iterator interface, and that iterator interface is known as the latest one. So in addition to the methods it provides you, like has more elements and next element. So the method names got simplified in iterator, like has next and next. And in addition to those navigation methods, it also allows you to remove. So while iterating itself you can remove. That is what iterator is additionally providing you. Right, we'll see them. So moving forward, we'll see that how do we use that. Okay, and let's see one more object, vector. See, so far we have seen how the data will be stored in the key value pairs, starting from our properties class, hash table class, tree map class, right? And also one more class is there, hash map. So if you want to try that hash map, so go to your tree map test. Just say file save as. File save as. Click the menu file save as. Mention it as hashmap test.java. So hashmap doesn't care about the sorting order, same as your hash table mechanism. Keep the cursor on line 6. Rename type to hashmap test. So just double click on tree map keyword on line 10. Control F. Control F. Replace with hashmap. And click the replace all button. So all the occurrences of tree map will be replaced with this hash map thing. Right. 3 matches replaced. Correct. Save this and just run this. You can understand the difference, how hash map is trying to produce you the output. There you go. So here it doesn't care about the sorting order and all. So Ahmed came first, then Hema, then Sushmita, then Amjad. So in any order. So it is not following any specific order here. Right? So that is what hash map is all about. So this way all the key value pairs will be able to store. Right? So similar to that, I just wanted to store all the values like the arrays are storing. But this time I want to see my array that should be growable in case if I want to add more elements. And I should be able to access the elements of it based on its given index. Right? So for that purpose there is a class called java.util.vector class. Its size is going to get grown or shrink based on your necessity to accommodate by adding some new elements or removing the existing elements in that vector object. So let's write one simple example. So this is also be considered as one of the legacy components, right? So let's try to test that. Vector test. Say vector test. Take the main method and let us declare a vector object to store all the string data and then add the elements into that. So I am trying to define vector v equal to new vector and I am adding some elements into that and I am just trying to print that vector object. Press Ctrl Shift F, save this, let's run this. There you go. So all the data gets printed in the same order whatever you added. So if you want to add your name, wherever you want to add, you can add. You can add one more element, say v.add element Ahmad. You can use add also, that is also allowed. Right? Add element is one of the legacy methods, add is a new method, that is also be used. Right? Right, save. Try to run it. So in whatever the position you added your element, so it will be there at that position itself. Okay? So this way we'll be able to store the data. Suppose you wanted to print all your element data based on its index, you can take a for loop like this. Copy this for loop. Just below that sys out. So we know that the indexing begins at 0th position. So we need to say for int I equal to 0, I less than v dot size. Size is a method of your vector object which gives you the number of elements, total number of elements in that vector object. And we wanted to print that specific element. That job would be done by using the get method. So when you say v dot get of I, it is going to print you that respective element, that ith element, right, or the element at the given index. So save that and try to print that. There you go. Right? Or in case if you want to give more specifically, go there inside sysout, put I plus inside your sysout. I sysout I plus, not there, not inside the v dot get. So before v dot get of I, copy this one line of code. Copy this one sys out and replace it. Write 0 element, 1 element, 2 element like that. Save, run. So that way it will be printing you the respective element of that index. Right? So there you go. So now in case, if not the for loop, if I want to apply the enumeration object against this, that also I can do it. Right? So how can you do that enumeration object? All that is just draw this line and after that create this enumeration object and loop through that. Because this vector is a legacy object, legacy class. So against this legacy class you can use this enumeration. You are there inside the for loop. After for loop you can do that. Even you can draw that line after for loop. Import that java.util.enumeration and press Ctrl Shift F and remove those blank line 22 you can remove and press enter after line 22 or else. Right. Save, run. There you go. You can see on your console the data of your for loop as well as the data of your enumeration object. If you make your console bigger you can see all that. Right? So 0 element, all those things whatever got printed, it is all the result of your for loop. After drawing that line, all your elements got printed by looping through that enumeration object. Right? So this is how we'll be able to play with this enumeration and vector, all these things. And you can also apply the iterator against this and we can test the additional operation of iterator. Just say save as, file save as, just name it as vector iterator test, vector iterator test. Okay, remove line 18 to 24. Right, delete. And even you can remove that enumeration block also. 18 to 23 you can remove. Perfect. Now copy this sys out, which is going to print you before you enter into the while loop what was the vector size we wanted to know. And then we wanted to define an iterator object. So earlier we said v.elements that has given as the enumeration object, but this time we'll say v.iterator. It should be returning as the iterator object. So we are bringing the iterator object there and we are looping through that iterator by saying while e.hasNext and get one element at a time by invoking the next method that gives you the respective string element and print it and immediately remove it. right? So after you printed the data, you are trying to remove it. And by the time you come out of that while loop, all the elements of that vector object should have been removed. So the size should become 0. So let's verify that. Save it and run it. Let's see what is the output it is going to print you. Right? So before you enter into the while loop, the vector size is 6 and it is printing you all those elements, all those 6 elements. And by the time you come out of that while loop, all elements got removed, so the vector size became 0. Right? So this is how we'll be able to play around this vector object. Is it clear? Refer all these links to practice more examples. Right, so tomorrow's class will try to understand the list interface and the array list, which is an implementation class of that list interface, and then you can also take a look at what you call the set interface, tree set class, hash set class, all of them. Right, so that we will go through. So keep all these links with you. Try to read that theory, right? Because our presentation doesn't bring you much theory and all. Enumeration is the older interface and the iterator is the new interface. So the latest implementation is recommending to go with the iterator interface. And iterator and enumeration both are meant for the navigation purpose, but iterator is providing you an additional activity called remove, whereas enumeration can't do that. Right? That is the difference. Does it answer your question?
Hi, sir.
Yes, yes,
Hello.
yes.
Sir, I got a doubt in the program,
Yeah.
like data input stream. Like yesterday I did this.
Okay.
I want you to look after that. Can you please check?
You want to share your screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Let me make it the presenter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are the presenter now. Please share your screen.
Sir, I created the file in this data output stream. I write data 100, hello, and 3.5 everything, and it's got printed like
No.
file created.
Okay.
But when I executed in data input stream, it's showing a Java IO end of file exception. I check every line, but I didn't get where is it gone. And in the backward, the file which I printed, it's showing something in other language.
I did not get the exact problem. So you created a file with
Yeah,
data output stream and you wrote some data into that, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. So
This is the data I wrote. Yeah, I took file output and data output stream, and I referenced the FOS.
so you are writing the data by using data output stream, write 100, write UTF, hello, write double value, file created,
Yeah,
put right.
into the file text.
So
Yeah,
file
and I want to read it out from data input stream.
okay.
But when when I have to execute this, I'm getting end of file exception. I don't know where I did wrong. But in the backward, it's like file text. I'm not getting. Yeah, I'm getting like this.
Yes, you cannot read that data, right? That is correct. That is okay. So show me the data input stream program.
Input stream.
Data output stream, you don't have any issues, right? So data output stream, you are facing the.
Yeah, no, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
It should be.
And one more thing, sir. It's in, when I enter into, just a second, so I will show you this. Yeah, this got printed in the file.
So what is
Here, it's supposed to be the data has to be printed, right? Like
of course
what I gave.
you use the data output stream all that, so that's why it is all gets formatted. Because you did not write it as a simple string, right? So you wrote it
Oh,
format, you wrote it as integer value, you wrote double value, all that, right? It was not plain string.
yeah.
So that's how it
Okay.
is all correct. So the problem with your data input stream is it is reaching, it says it has reached the end of file exception. So where from that error is coming? That error is coming from line number 12. So when you are saying dis.read utf, right? So it is not able to read that one and it says it has reached the end of the file.
Yeah.
Right, because, so can you show me the data output stream? So the very first value what you wrote is it int?
3.15. No double.
You wrote 100 and you
Yeah.
wrote UTF. You wrote double value. But there must be actually, see, when you write all these things together,
Mm-hmm.
there is no separation at all, right? So all the data is written on a single line.
Yeah.
When you read it back, it is trying to read that int value from that line and it reaches, the cursor is pushed onto the end of the file. So it will not be able to read further. So to classify each and everything, we need to put some characters as well. So you can say dos.write put some new line character \n, and then you can,
Here, sir.
after writing your UTF, you can put one more \n, so that after every new line character, if you keep reading the data back, so that way you will be able to read everything whatever you written into that file. Instead of writing
What?
straight away without any separations, all that. So after every write integer value, all that, if you apply some new line character or tab character, something, so to differentiate. So where from the UTF begins at, where from the integer value begins at, where is that double value begins at, so that pointer is required, right? Otherwise it will be simply reading from one single line, it can't. So as soon as it reads the integer value from that single line, the cursor position will be pushed onto the end of the file,
Okay.
right? So that's
I got it.
all
Yeah. What should I write here, sir? Like a slash and tab. Where should I write?
wherever you wanted to have the separation, right? After writing
Okay.
100, you need to keep a separator.
Okay. Here, sir. Like slash.
Dos.write 100 you said, so after that you can say dos.write \n. Write char or something would be there.
Is it good, sir? No.
Enclose that character within um, quotes.
Good.
Write char is a method. No.
Is it? No.
Your \n need to be there within the quotes. See, you are not understanding the parameter and the method naming convention. You can't put the double quotes in between the method name, right? Your method was 100% correct, whatever you wrote earlier. Now you are just making it.
Is this okay, sir?
It should be like this.
Okay, sir.
It's not accepting that char.
Mm-hmm.
Then single quotes. Remove those double quotes. Then keep it in single quotes. So that separation should be there even after your write UTF also.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Now go back to your data input stream.
Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to show the data which I wrote in output stream. It just shows file created, sir, and in both
You are
data
not
output stream and data.
you are not reading anything here in your data output stream demo, right? So you are doing it separately in another program.
Oh,
So go there to that
okay.
program and read it. So while reading, you need to read that character as well.
Oh, sure. Okay, sir. I will do this.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow then.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Any more questions from anyone else? Okay. Sure then. See you.